sign after it. So, I'm gonna get this.
Is it me?
Yep.
All right. We'll call the meeting to order. First item is approval of the agenda. Second, those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Minutes of July 12th, 2022 board meeting. Second, those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Set date for public hearing to approve plan specs and estimate for courthouse window replacement. This is the window project. It's been being worked on for probably the last, 12 years. And
25.
through the ARPA funds, we're going to be able to complete that. So this just sets the date for the public hearing next week,
July 26th.
July 26th. Second, those in favor? Opposed? Heartland Humane, Don?
Well, good morning. I appreciate the opportunity to speak today on behalf of Heartland. I'm on the board out there. I think I've been on the board in 2018. As you well know, Heartland's a nonprofit. I want to give you guys just some general information about Heartland. So in 2021, Heartland did 862 adoptions. They took in 500 plus dogs from Wapello County and the community of Wapello County. They took in another 385 cats, primarily from the city of Ottumwa. Currently, Eastview was taking county dogs, and I'll ask the sheriff to correct me. I was told just this morning that Heartland will now start taking in county dogs. Does that sound correct, Don? Okay, thank you. The board members out of Heartland put in a lot of hours, and they also put their money into it. An example I'd like to use on Friday, I'm going up to the Iowa Food Pet Pantry in Cedar Rapids, and another board member, God bless her, who bought 1.5 tons of Royal Canin dog food for the animals. You know, so board members not only put time and effort, they put their money into it. Up in Oskaloosa, there's Stevens Memorial Shelter, and they receive 1/3 of their budget from the county and city combined up in Oskaloosa. Now, with that said, they take about the same number of cats that Heartland does, which is roughly 80, but they take about 2/3 of the dogs, around 35 dogs. And I want to give you guys a perspective of what our bills were monthly. So Alliant Energy, you know, is $1,000 a month usually, a typical month. And our insurance is through Noel. And this is all our insurances, from workman's comp, the van, liability. So it's $855 a month. The water bill is generally $400 or more monthly. And then our garbage bill depends how often they pick it up. And it varies between $400 and $700, depending how many times they come and pick up our dumpster. Now for our payroll, I think it's important you all know that. Our manager is only 40-hour-a-week employee out there, and she makes $15 an hour. She puts in a lot more than 40. We have 4 people, and we underpay people. We're a nonprofit. We have to raise money to pay the people. We have 4 people that make $10 an hour. In the $10 an hour pool, there's only one person that gets close to 40 hours. Most of the folks that work there don't really want to work 40, and they want to work with animals. And we have 4 people that make $9 an hour. Back in, and I'm jumping right into different things, Brian and Blaine. In 21, we had 38 strays coming in. And from Ottumwa alone, we had 20 strays. From Bladesburg, we had 3 strays. Agency, we had 1. Chillicothe, we had 1. Batavia, we had 1. And out of that 38 strays, we had 20 that were claimed. So that's a pretty good percentage to have 38 come in and 20 of them, you know, over half got claimed. Thus far in 2022, we've had 20 strays from Ottumwa, 1 from agency, and that would be all for Wapello County. In terms of what's it look like first yearly, guys, I'll just say it, I'm pretty upfront and honest. We have roughly enough money in this one account to probably carry us another 12 to 14 months. And then the shelter would probably have to look at closing, you know, because with inflation and cost of everything, we're doing all we can do. Currently, we have about 50 dogs there and roughly another 50 cats. But our expenses are getting to where, as a board member, we can't do enough. I personally, and I don't really want this on the record, but I donated $7 a day last year for the shelter. And most of the board members, I'm a small donor on the board, by the way, too. Most of the board members donate a lot more than that because we think it's important for a county and community to have an animal shelter. If you're wondering, okay, is euthanasia cheaper? Actually, executing the animal is $68 for a dog. That doesn't include disposal. So if we took in 500 dogs and they were all executed, that's going to be over $30,000 to put them down. And that doesn't include dumping fees. So what I'd like to ask for you guys to please consider making a pretty sizable donation this year and maybe consider putting us in the budget. We're also planning on meeting with the city of Ottumwa as well. So, and I would like to entertain any questions that Wayne or Brian might have, or anybody in the audience for that matter. Does anybody have any questions about Heartland?
Well, I think everything you guys do is pretty well documented and a lot of passionate people out there, for sure. Now we do, is it $1,000?
$1,000, yeah.
Okay. Now you were here a year or two ago and you guys were approaching the city at that time. Did the city put you guys in the budget at that time?
Well, we get, like, if they get the license, they license their dog, we get $5. And then for animal control, we get like $10 for the boarding. Between the city and the county, we get roughly $8,600. And it costs between, and this is a crazy figure, and I wouldn't believe it if I got on the board, costs between $20,000 and $30,000 a month to run that shelter. And then people complain about adoption fees. Well, we kind of need the adoption fees, to be honest. So we also work with German Shepherd Rescue of Iowa, a Commodore Rescue Group, and a Beagle Rescue Group. So we also, we try to work with a lot of different animal care agencies to get the animals adopted. But I'm hoping you guys would consider looking at a pretty sizable, either one-time donation or possibly putting us in the budget. And like I say, it takes between 20 and 30 grand monthly to run that place. So any other questions, Wayne or Brian, or comments?
Nope, I think it's something we can look at as far, the budget's done this year, of course.
I understand.
But, if there's something we could do, or even maybe as a project, or, more of a, like the food donation or whatever,
right.
Something along those lines.
Well,
so maybe we can meet with you guys and talk about something along those lines, and then,
or possibly look at paying one of the bills, to put in, Lion Energy is basically 12,000 a year, taking over one of the bills or something. It's whatever all you decide, Brian and Wayne, but I would hate to see the shelter, have to close in 2023. And realistically, that is a possibility. And when you can see, when the manager only makes $15 an hour and she's the only 40-hour-a-week employee, we're pretty frugal with our salaries. And the only benefit is all the dog poop you can scoop and cat boxes you clean. There's no benefits to those people. So they're doing it because they love animals, but they have bills too,
Have you seen your guys' donations, especially monetarily, go down in the last year? Or do you think it's held pretty?
I think it's held steady would be my case. I know, like memorials, and I won't name her name, but a lady that was very involved out there, her memorial was over $5,000. Well, we needed fencing, and Jared Pierce does a really good job for Heartland. He came out and donated like $3,500 to this project, and then the donation from her memorial paid for a third of the fencing. Because the fencing was over $17,500.
And was that new? Is that
Brand
new fencing?
Brand new fencing
On an area you already had?
Yes.
It just need to replace.
Put in one about 5 big dog runs, where instead of just you open and only one dog can get out, now the worker can take 5 dogs over and put one in each separate big area and let them run. The biggest thing I see in terms of bills, and the veterinarians work with us, and public people always want to pick on the vets. if you look at all the veterinary practices, most of them have changed hands. So you got these young and up and comer vets who, you know, they've got a mortgage and they got bills and they work with us. One of the vets last year, we spent 127,500, and we use all the vets in the area, you know, so vet bills are pretty high, but at the same time, and this is my understanding, we can't adopt out, say we have a Great Pyrenees, someone wants it, it's got to be fully vaccinated and neutered or spayed before it can leave that shelter. I mean, I've been told that till my ears ring. So, you know, and that's a cost. You know, and so then, you know, if we absorb, say with adoption fees, 200 on a big dog like that, that's depending on what all went down with that surgery, that might not even pay for the surgery on that animal. You know, so anything you guys could do would be greatly appreciated. You know, Brian and Wayne, I want you guys to really kind of look at Heartland as a public service to the community and the county. And that's ultimately what it is. And I wish I could give you a firm number on Stevens, but when I talked to the manager up there, she just smiled and said, Don, all I'm going to say is Oskaloosa and Mahaffey County give us a third of their budget. They don't have as many dogs. They have about the same number of employees, same number of cats. So I would guess their budget's somewhere between 275 and 300,000 a year. But they also have Muscle Lighting up there. So
Right.
Any other questions? Or
Nope, I'd say it's something we'll look at and discuss, maybe come out even at some point and
okay.
kind of follow
Well,
up.
I'm going to leave you guys with the brochure too. That way you have that information. Do you guys have any questions back here? I'm not really a meeting guy, so I'm not going to stick around too long. And thanks for listening. Appreciate you guys. And you too, Kelly. There's one for Jerry. There you go. You're welcome, Wayne. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
All right, levy rates, July 1, 2021 to June 30th, 2022 for taxes payable July 1, 22 to June 30th, 23. This just sets the levies for all the townships, cities, college, schools, school districts in Wapello County. Second, any further discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Request for payroll approval, new hire, clerk 2 in the sheriff's office. Second, those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thanks, Don.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Other business, report of fees collected and dispersed, fourth quarter FY 21-22 in the recorder's office. Second. Those in favor? Opposed? Report of fees collected and dispersed year-end FY 21-22 recorder. Second. Those in favor? Aye. Lisa, do you kind of want to hit on this email? I think it was
Yeah,
really good.
I wasn't planning on being here, so I sent that email this morning, and then the meeting that I was supposed to attend fell through, but I just kind of wanted to point out to you guys that we had a substantial increase in the amount of money that we record or collected, not just in recording, but overall everything. Of almost $121,000 for the year. And I went back through previous years, and that's almost 3 times the amount of money that we've collected in the past. The year before that, it was 46,000 roughly. The 2 years before that, it was roughly 45, and 3 years would have been about 30,000. Granted, this is a boat year, so that part of that is that. But in 2018, it only went up 15,000 when we had boats. So, and a lot of that was done short-staffed. I had employees off with surgeries and illness. We had one part-time person quit. There was a lapse. There was about a 3-month period in there where we were short a part-time person, getting somebody hired. And as you all know, when you hire new people, it takes a little bit of time to get them trained as well. So I just wanted to point that out to you guys that that was a pretty big increase for our office and doing it with short staff.
Yeah.
Kudos to my staff.
Absolutely. No, I think it's good to point that stuff out, not just to us, but to the public, the media as well, so. Very good. All right, 21-22 fourth quarter report, 21-22 fiscal year end report, sheriff. Move to accept and file. Second. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Treasurer's investment report, June 22. Second. Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Treasurer semi-annual report, January 22nd, June 22. January 22, June 22. Second. Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Any other business to come before the board? Move to adjourn. Second. Those in favor? Aye. Opposed?